What's up, everybody? Let's take a look at the stock market. Oh boy, what a day. Let me just get right to it. S&P 500 futures. Last night I was trading. We'll talk about whether I made any profit or loss at the end of the video, so stick around for that. But take a look in front of us. Look at the upper right-hand corner, that square right there. Look at those bunch of candlesticks. You got at least 3 spinning tops in there. You've got 1 green day and then another 3 down days. Out of 7 days, 6 of them are red. Now I can tell you right now that this group of candlesticks is unusual. Okay, it doesn't follow the same patterns we've been seeing on the previous pullbacks. Just go ahead and look at them on the screen. Just there's 2 of them to the left. Look at those other pullbacks. They're all very peaky with a lot of green candlesticks leading up to the pullback, right? There are other ones. I could go back. I went back for months. Looking for this similar pattern. Doesn't happen. I can tell you when it did happen, but I'm not gonna go there because some people are gonna say, oh, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. So I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut about what I think is about to happen on a large scale. Y'all know my take on that, right? If you haven't watched my videos before, let me tell you. Look at the big yellow letters in the upper right. Expect price decline through next week. Last night when I was trading, it was a nice trading last night. There was a lot of volatility last night. I'm talking late. Later in the video, at the end of the video, I'll show you how all that went down. But just for the record, we don't always get a lot of volatility at night. Yes, the futures contracts and many futures products trade 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. But a lot of times at night, it's very quiet. You'll get some small movement, but you won't get big movements. Nowhere near the volatility that we would get during the day here in the United States of America. So last night's volatility was much more than normal. Now, for those of you who don't know, next week is a very special week. Okay? Very special week. Okay? Particularly next Thursday, Friday, right in that area. Very special week. If you don't know what that is, you need to look it up. Figure it out. I'm sure some people in the comment section will comment about why next week's a big deal. Only happens 4 times a year. Okay? Only happens 4 times a year. So, I don't like to give prices. I don't talk about price. How much the price, this price, that price, blah, blah, blah. How much you think it's going to come down, blah, 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 boom. I just trade it. But I can tell you right now, there's high confidence, high confidence. This is not done. Okay? Not done. Today closed at 4490.75, just after the close of the future market, upper left-hand corner, 401, September 9th, 2021. So, it closed at 4490.75. Okay? Today, for those that have to have prices, and I don't trade based on price, I almost never talk about price, but if you want to know what I think, and I'm not going to trade based on any number, there's another $100 in price decline minimum coming. And it could be much bigger. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine. I'll trade the long side. You know what I discovered about the world, guys and gals? Too many people are worried about being wrong. They can never handle being wrong. Oh my gosh, I can't let anybody ever know I was wrong. If I'm wrong, they're all going to hate me. Who cares? Let them hate you. Haters will hate. So if I'm wrong and this doesn't come down as much as I say, I don't care. When I see it turn and burn and goes back up and I got confirmation, I'm going to trade it. Right now, history says otherwise. The indicators say otherwise. We might get an up day or two, maybe, between now and next week, but there's so little time left between now and next Thursday. You only got, 4 or 5 more trading days. So there's not a whole lot of time for this thing to do the big turnaround before next week. Based on what I saw today, I actually think some hedge funds and maybe some really big, large retailers, but probably more like hedge funds and funds, they unwound some positions today. That's what I saw. That's the feeling I got. There was some hot and heavy trading on the downside today. And I think you got some significant players, if you will, unwinding some positions for next week. So do your own due diligence. The comment section, leave your comments by what next. To those of the uninitiated, go ahead and leave a comment section. Comment in the comment section. Tell all these other people why next week's a big deal. I know some of you already know. Below that, we got the Stochastic Momentum Index. Nice. I mean, just look at that thing. Nice. Still going down. Now, if we look at the previous two pullbacks, we can see that right around now in the momentum, it would expect to bottom out and pull back. And rebound, sorry. And it could do that. It could. 1, 2, 3 pullbacks ago, it came down and touched the line. But those other pullbacks, they're nothing like this pullback. All you got to do is just look at the pattern. It's completely different. All those red candlesticks in there, completely different than any other pullback we've seen in the last few months. Going down the Big Daddy forecast, of course, it's still pointing down. And I see a difference in the Big Daddy forecast. Not just about a number. I see the way it's shaped. We're talking geometry here. The geometry of the Big Daddy and the way it's descending is different than the other pullbacks. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, pause the video, look at it. You should be able to pick up the difference in the geometrical shape of the Big Daddy forecast compared to the previous pullbacks. It should stand out. If not, then you need to start, perhaps, may I suggest, you start looking at patterns, shapes. That's right. Folks, the futures products, the stock market, all of it, it's more about geometry. It's just the world being expressed in a geometrical manner. It's the financial world being expressed right here in front of us geometrically. Okay? There's people called, I think they're called geometers. Or geometrics. I think they're called geometers. Or geometers. However you want to pronounce it. Yeah, you should look that up. They specialize in geometry. Some real brilliant people. Okay? Some of them are both that and brilliant mathematicians. Okay, let's look down at the VIX. Yesterday's VIX was 17.96, and look at it today. Almost up a full point, 18.8. Oh, yeah. And even look at the VIX. Look at that VIX. Look at the previous spikes. Does it look different than the previous spikes? I'm talking about the big spikes. Look at the big spike before it, back there like in the middle of August. Look at how smooth that VIX spike was. Not this one. 2 big spikes ago, back on like June 18th, 19th. Look at that one, smooth. Not this one. The nature of this pullback, price decline, correction, crash, whatever it turns out to be, is different in nature. And of course, at the very bottom, we got the divergence continues, man. This divergence will not correct itself until we get that big, huge correction or crash. Then you'll get a realignment. It hasn't happened yet. No, sir. The Dow theory continues. Okay, that's my take on what I think is going on with the stock market. I expect prices to decline through next week. Even if we get an up day in here or something like that, I don't think it's going to hold water. This baby's already turned and burned. It's going to continue to do so going into next week. Like I said, if I'm wrong, fine, I'll trade the other way. That's my take on the S&P 500. Let's look at, real quick, before I get into what I traded, I just want to talk briefly for new beginners. New beginners trading futures. What do we got in front of us? This is called, this little section, keep it real brief, for you new beginners out there, or maybe even you veteran futures traders. I don't know, maybe this will appeal to you. But you're not sure how to trade. What's futures all about? Well, I'm going to put in the description a few links that I did a mini-series quite a while back. I think it was called something like Futures for Beginners, Part 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'll put those links in the description. When you're done watching this video, go back and watch them if you don't know anything about futures. Really good group of videos, okay? But let me just take a few minutes to talk about if you want to trade futures, okay, and you want a product that's going to be about as least easiest to trade and the least leverage on your account. This is one of them right here, M6A. This is the E-micro Aussie US dollar future. You see up there in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see it says M6A, and then the words say E-micro AUD/USD future, ETH. You got a tick size there of 0.0001. I'm not going to get into tick size and all that. Go watch the videos. Go look up future contract specifications on the CME website. But what I really want you to pay attention is the far right. You'll see it says $176. If you go to the top of that column, you see it says initial margin. That is the leverage that will be placed on your account for one contract, one futures contract. That's called cheap. Super cheap. Okay? That's how much will be leveraged against your account if you take one E-micro contract of this product. Meaning, for the most part, it's not going to put a big dent in your margin balance to trade this product. And for you new beginners or those that are uncertain, it's a great place to start. This product doesn't usually, but it can, but doesn't usually move around a lot. It's slow moving. That's great for beginners who don't really know and they're nervous trading, or they don't understand the math of futures. What is tick size? What is tick value? What is contract expiration date? What are all these numbers? Okay. So this is one product you might, and I'm not saying that I'm going to trade this, though I am looking at the 6A, just like I talked about the 6E. I am looking at this because I think there's a trade coming up on the Aussie dollar. Now, this is not Forex, by the way. This is the futures on the currency. Different. So I do think there might be a trade coming up on this, and if I take one, I'll let everybody know. But if you want a low-risk futures product to trade, this is about as low as it gets. Go do your due diligence. Watch the videos I talked about in the links in the description below. When you're good and ready, take one little E-micro contract. You can watch it move slowly over a period of a day, $5, $10, either way. Ooh, what's it doing? Okay, you can experiment a little bit with your stop losses and your trailing stops and stuff like that, and how you manage your position. Okay, it's really, really cheap. You're gonna, you're talking $5 or $10 either way. It's gonna be small movement of money, and that's a great place to start. Okay. All right. By the way, everybody, got to give you the obligatory. This is educational purposes only video. I do not give financial advice. I'm simply sharing with you what I do. Make your own decisions. Let's take a look at what happened with me trading today. Oh my goodness. Did I get a profit? Did I take a loss? Let's take a look. Here we go in front of us, guys. Upper left-hand corner. This is the E-micro S&P 500s for the December 2021 contracts. This was last night. If you look at the upper left-hand corner there, you'll see it says September 8th, which was last night, about 10:20 Eastern Standard Time here in Texas. In the middle of the screen, you see I got 5 contracts, trailing stop order. If you don't know what a trailing stop is, for some of you people that may not know, look it up. Go in your search engine, type in trailing stop. On the far right-hand side, you got 2 yellow rectangles. So you can see I'm short 5 contracts. They're in red, -5. Okay. I was up $100 on this position, and for the day, I was already up $122.50. Okay, so that was the start. Look at and one other thing I want you to notice is, just in the middle of the screen, just to the right of that trailing stop, look how small that candlestick is. Right, little candlestick, it's red, got a green line going through it because of the trailing stop. Note the time at the upper left-hand corner, 22:20. Small candlestick, right? Let's take a look at the next screenshot. Eight minutes later. Look at the candlestick now. Got longer, didn't it? To the right, you see the profits. The position's been closed. Trailing stop was hit. The price came back up, hit the trailing stop. You can see the position. I have no positions open. Profit loss for the day at that point is $163.75. Let's take a look at the next trailing stop. I'm walking you through, guys and gals, right now. I'm walking you through the way that I do trades. A lot of you want to know, how am I doing this? What is he doing? Well, I'm walking you through it. One screenshot at a time. You can go back, pause the video, go back, look at the different screenshots, look at the timestamps, try to get a feel for what's going on there. Okay, upper left-hand corner. This is much later. This is now past midnight, 12:30. Same contracts, same everything. Same futures product, I should say. But now this time, look at the middle of the screen. 11 contracts and a trailing stop. So I went big. I went from 5 to 11, more than double. Right? Much bigger. Twice as many contracts. Why would I do that? Well, look at the candlestick. That's a flush candlestick. That puppy is flush. Okay? Now, just so if you all want to know, whenever I place this order, it doesn't mean I immediately turned around and put a trailing stop in right away. I had to wait for the price to move enough to where I liked enough of profitability, okay? Then I put my trailing stop in. So that from the time I placed this order and took the position of 11 contracts shorted and the actual time I put in the order for the trailing stop, I don't know how much time passed. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. The point is, you need to have a sense for how much profit do you need before you put your trailing stop in there. You got to overcome commissions. You got other things going on. Okay, I know what that is for me. You all have to kind of decide based on your account size, what your broker charges you for commissions, things like that. Okay. Position size is important, so on and so forth. Look to the far right. You see 2 yellow rectangles. At this point, these contracts are still open. This position has not been closed. You can see the position itself was up $408.75, and the profit loss for the day is $572 3/4 at this point. Okay, next screenshot. This screenshot is showing us profit taking. No trailing stop. To the far right, the PL open. There's no contracts open. Everything's closed. This screenshot is showing that the trailing stop happened and I've taken a profit. Hope you're all getting a feel. Over and over and over again. We do the same things over and over again. We don't leave positions hanging open. I know I repeat myself, but it's really important. A lot of people don't get that. They're just hoping that everything's going to work out. They just keep hanging on to positions and they never close them. That's just craziness. Crazy. Okay, this represents a position that's been closed. And profit was taken. Trailing stop happened. Let's look at the next one. Now on the middle screen, you see one little contract, one little trailing stop. Just one. How did I go from the first position I took was 5, the next one was 11, now this one is 1. Why is this one 1? What's going on? How do I make these kind of decisions? Well, look at the candlestick. It's retraced, right? It's rebounded, so to speak. It's come back up. Right? So I'm not going to jump in full-fledged, throttle slam to the floor, doing 150 miles per hour. I'm going to take a really tiny contract and wait to see what the market does. I want to see what the price action does. This candlestick has come back up. I know based on my account, I can handle one contract. If things get a little out of control, the one contract isn't gonna make or break me. That contract can sit around till December if I really needed it to. I mean, I probably would never do that. I used to do stupid stuff like that, but I don't do that anymore. Now I got my stop losses in place. If it thing gets out of control, nip it, get it out of there, choke the life out of it, close those positions that are crushing you. Don't leave them hanging there. It's craziness. Don't let them get bad in the first place, is my point I'm trying to make. Okay, on the far right, you see it's just one little contract that's been shorted. The position's up 57.50, which means from the time I place this order to the time I put the trailing stop, the price had moved enough downward to where I was comfortable with the profit that it had already had on the table, so to speak, right? And I locked it in. Lock in the profits. Okay. Now you'll notice kind of in the middle of the screen, the 3 yellow circles. Why am I circling those? Because I want you to take note that on the daily chart that we're looking at, conditions have not changed. There hasn't been any massive change. There isn't anything that's like telling me, warning, don't trade anything, sell everything, and, pack up your camper and move to the mountains. Okay, nothing's changed. The Big Daddy's still pointing down. The stochastic momentum index looks nice with a big separation between the lines. VIX is up. Volatility's up. Since I'm shorting, that's a good thing. Which, by the way, today I actually did a long position for like $30. Woohoo! So yes, I trade long too. My point being about the 3 yellow circles is nothing's changed. There's no reason to believe at this point that anything has changed. Downward pressure continues. Confirmation is as good as it gets. This is it, baby. We're way past confirmation. We're in, let's get this done. Let's do it. Let's take positions and lock in profits. Okay? And keep a good attitude. Right? Keep a good attitude. Be sharp. Pay attention to the details. Okay? Any nervousness that you have, guys and gals, you got to get rid of it. Walk it off. Walk around the house. Take some deep breaths. Whatever you need to do. Nervousness will kill your decision making. Don't be nervous. Find a way to get over it. Me, I pray about it. Look at the next screenshot. Look at that. I went from 1. This is just like not even 10 minutes later, guys. I went from 1 contract. Remember that? The last screenshot showed 1 trailing stop. Now it's 12. I added 11 more shorted contracts. Why? The candlestick started to go down. Price action was moving down. Right? I took that 1 contract. Prices were kind of coming up and rebounding. And then it kind of settled in and I'm like, bing, jump on it. Heck yeah, add in 11 more contracts. Okay? And you can see what happened. I made some small adjustments to my trailing stop to add in the other contracts. Boom, bang, bang. Where are we at? Look to the right. 12 shorted contracts. The position itself was up $260. Really nice, right? Profit loss for the day is now 722 3/4. I mean, it's happening, right? This is great. This is awesome. This is what we want to see. Okay. Okay, last screenshot for what happened with my trading. Now you can see this is today. This is actually today, like 19 minutes before the futures market's going to close. Okay. You can see I'm up $719 for the day. I got 12 contracts on. Okay. I'm only, the position itself, the 12 contracts are only up $12.50. Okay. But there you go. That is an awesome day. In the last 4 days, I don't know how much money I brought in. It doesn't really matter. I'm not an egomaniac. I got to go around telling everybody about how much money I've made over blah, blah, blah. I'm just sharing these positions and the profit loss with you because I want everybody to understand if you're going to trade, what it takes to get it done, right? Now let's go back to and finish this video up with the S&P 500 futures for tomorrow. Yeah. What do I think is going to happen? More price decline. Pretty simple. Normally, at this time of day, between the 4 o'clock and the 5 o'clock hour, there's that 1 hour between trading sessions. For those that don't know, futures trade 23 hours a day. Take a 1 hour break, right back to trading. Or I should say the market's open. Okay? Normally, normally I wouldn't have any position, or if I did, it'd be really small, like 1 or 2 contracts as I go into the next day, the night. So tonight, when it opens up, which right now it's It's going to open up in about 20 minutes as I'm doing this video. Okay. Normally I just take 1 or 2 really small contracts and wait to see what the market's going to do. Okay. But you saw I got 12 contracts on. Yeah, it's a little bit more risky, for sure. But I have my reasons, and I won't go into every little detail why I do what I do. Everybody's got to, I'm sharing a lot of information here, sharing a lot of what I do here for your guys' benefit, right? Nobody's paying me. I'm not being paid. I don't have some subscription service that people pay me, and then they go get some course with DVDs, and then I jump online and they all watch me make trades, and we go ooh ah together, kumbaya. Give me a break. And I've almost never see these people show their profit and losses. They just do a lot of talking. Every day here, if I've closed a position, I show the profit loss. If I have a loss, I tell you that too. I think tomorrow, which is Friday, some people say it's the best day of the week. We'll wait and see what happens tomorrow. I think there's pressure. I think there's pressure on hedge funds. I think there's pressure on big funds. I think there's pressure on retail traders to get these contracts closed before next week. I think that's what's going to happen. And we shall see how this all plays out. But you all know my take on this. I think we got some serious price decline still to come. Maybe tomorrow. I have a lot of confidence that's going to happen going into the next week. That's my take on that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Click that little bell to be notified of all the videos as I put them out. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.